This is the big testimony.
He's the God of every story. He sees each tear that falls. We may not understand, but one thing is certain: He is faithful. He's a faithful God.
Life-changing stories only on the big testimony. God is moving in our midst.
Your feedback coming through. Yes, remember to talk to me is very simple. You can text me on 21907, or as well you can go to our social media pages, 90.7 Truth FM official page on Facebook, on Twitter Truth FM Kenya, and also on Instagram at Truth FM_Kenya. I can see quite a number of you guys tuned in and getting blessed. This is Evelyn Musembi, tuned in and following. I can also see you, Betty Kanana pamoja sana. Nicodemus, yes, I can see you. I say God move mountains. Yvonne Wamboi, Dolly Kamau tuned in. Faith Simianko Rende, tuned in all the way from Thika, ready for the big testimony. Kim Chege, Anna Mamake Wayne, tuned in Ikiwa Gitaru. God is great and is a wonder working God. Rhoda Ada, tuned in already. Wilberforce Ondato, Stephen Kimaris, yes, my brother, Asante Sana, Teresia Karanja, Jacinta Muikali, were already tuned in all the way from Huruma. Kate Blessing, take a stage, Lord, have your way. Yes, Pauline Kwakwa, hey. Yes, I can also see you, Gaki Dorcas, glory to Jesus, Juliet Ndunge, Rhoda Ada, Brenda Mateva, Martha Moluki. You guys stay tuned. Jackie, Njeri, Eva blessed, nimekuona pale. Keep your feedback coming through and I'll be able to sample in a few. I can also see you on my text line. And that is saying, hi, I'm Irene, tuned in from Kiambu. Kate, Mafibi is my neighbor. Okay, you know her?
Yes, I do.
So for sure, nothing's impossible. And he requested something from Don Moen. Wow, asante sana. I can also see this is saying, serve a God of another chance. He works miracles, and we bless God for healing Kate, Catherine Kihara. God answers prayers. This is Pastor Simon Boro. All the way from Gidi. Is your pastor?
Yeah, I know him.
Wow, I'm glad that you're tuned in. Asante sana. Kijabe present, ready for the big testimony. Asante sana, Sami Samuel. And this is Hello Truth FM. This is Rosalind Chalo, tuned in from Njeri, ready to hear the testimony. Hi Kagiri, praise Jesus. This is Calvin Smoreni from Kabuku, tuned in and ready to hear the big testimony. Praise God. I'm Karo Gloria, listening from Ngong, ready to hear the big testimony. I can see also someone and this is saying, eagerly waiting for this great testimony. You have what it takes, Catherine. This is Mrs. Ruhohi Githega.
Wow, she's my colleague.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I can also see praise Jesus. This is massive blessing from Lucy Getty, eagerly waiting for the big testimony. Tracy all the way from Umoja, nimekuona pale. And also my brother Ivan, listening from Kiambu. Yes, so we continue the story here. Remember, the hashtag to use is the big testimony, and indeed God is moving in our midst. Yes. Kate, how can I call you Catherine? Yes.
Yes.
So where were we?
So we were at the point where I was admitted at Kenyatta.
Yes.
And by now I have shifted my worries, and I have gotten hold of God.
Yes.
And I have told him that, God, I have served you for as long as I have lived, from the time I was a young girl.
Yes.
I have known you. I have told people about you. Remember, I was going out for mission.
Yes.
I was a minister in the church. And I began telling God, I have really told people about you. And this is your time for you to show yourself strong in my life.
Yes.
And I shifted my worries, and I began trusting God for something extraordinary to happen in my life.
Yes.
And that is how God began opening doors for me, because, getting an admission at NKNH within 2 weeks surely it was by the intervention of God.
Yes.
So that the day of the surgery comes, I was among the very first people to be taken in.
Yes.
I was picked from the ward at 6 a.m. And I remember when I woke up from the surgery, I woke up, before you quite, get back to yourself. You're in that state of, ish.
Yes.
I can remember there was a song that, was singing in my spirit. A very ancient song that says that up the mountains, down the valleys,
Yes.
in the land and in the seas, the Lord is my portion in the land of the living. And that came to me as an assurance that the Lord is going to be my portion in the land of the living, and then I will live. And I began claiming that as my portion, that Lord, you have said you will be my portion
Yes.
in the land of the living, and this has come to me as an assurance that I will live. And so the surgery was done. I stayed in the hospital for 2 more days. Then I was discharged. I went home. I was supposed to be seen for review after 2 weeks. My healing process was very quick. By the time I went back to the hospital after the 2 weeks, I was okay.
Yes.
But the doctor said that I should again take 2 or so weeks so that the wound can heal completely. Then we begin chemo. So he sent me to the chemotherapy department in Kenyatta.
Yes.
This is August. So when I went to the chemotherapy department in Kenyatta,
Yes.
I was told that the booking was up to end of January. So I was told to go home, wait in the queue until January 2012. This is 2011.
Yes.
January 2012. So that I can come niwekwe kwa queue ya kufanya chemotherapy. Because it was full.
So this is Kenyatta now.
This is Kenyatta.
At your condition, they're telling you to come.
At my condition,
Oh my gosh.
I am told
Yes.
we are fully booked. And the only time we can take you in is January next year. We are in August. So I'm supposed to go home, stay with my disease, and wait until January the following year. If I will be alive, I come, they treat me. If
So
I
you
will
wait for
have
them.
gone,
Yes.
well and good. So we go home, and again we meet with my family members, and hats off for them. They have really been, they are the best family
Yes.
I would have asked for, both from my maternal
Yes.
family and my husband's family.
Yes.
We've always worked together as a team. So we came home, we sat down, and we agreed that we honestly cannot wait for that time.
Yes.
So we begin looking for other hospitals, and we went to several hospitals, and we
Yes.
finally settled for MP-SHA. And I was booked, and I began chemotherapy almost immediately. And we agreed that we first begin with what we had as a family. Then along the way, we hold fundraising.
Yes.
Because cancer treatment in this country is quite expensive.
True.
Quite expensive. And it's very few households that really can afford to go through that treatment on their own.
Yes.
So we began, and so I do my first chemotherapy. And of course, you are told what to expect. Nausea, vomiting, such kind of things.
Yes.
But and I accept them casually. Some of these things, until you experience them,
Yes.
you'll never know how tragic they can become.
True.
So I went for my first chemotherapy, and by this time your body is a little bit strong. So the first chemotherapy wasn't quite hard on me.
Yes.
But I remember the second chemotherapy, that is when I had been told my hair will fall off. And I can remember that is one of the things that really traumatized me in
Yes.
a very big way. Yes, I had been told my hair will fall off.
Yes.
But nobody had told me how. Nobody had told me how it is going to fall off.
Yes.
So after the third week, I'm standing in the mirror after a shower. I had not braided my hair. I told myself it's going to fall off, so why even braid it? What I kai too natural. So I'm from the shower, and I take a comb, and I combed my hair.
Yes.
Instead of the comb, going through my hair, iling'oka tu na nywele yote.
What?
And I'm standing in the mirror, and I was like, what? What just happened? And I remember I just sat down and, cried, and, this reality just began hitting on me, that things were not normal. So eventually, So every time ningechana, nachana inatoka tu na kichana, nachana inatoka na kichana. And within a very short time I was bald. So bald. So it is not something that, you quite really accept so easily.
Yes.
But by and by, the Lord kept giving me strength, and the family kept on supporting me. And so I began getting used to nausea. I began, getting used to manage it, vomiting. So I began getting programs of what am I supposed to do exactly after chemo. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. But the first time, the first session I had chemo,
yes.
I really can't quite say that they were so really tough on me. Somehow God gave me the strength to manage. So I did 8 of them. So from September, I did 8 of them, and the last one I did was the last week of March. So this time, the Lord really gave me strength because I was working.
Yes. So you're still working?
Yes, I was doing my chemos in the intervals of 3 weeks. So I would go for chemo on Monday, rest the whole of that week, then go to work for 2 days, for 2 weeks, go to chemo again, rest for a whole week. But by the grace of God, I was managing. I was managing.
Wow.
So I did chemo, I finished. Then I did radiotherapy. I did 20 sessions. And by the end of April, I was done with those severe treatments. Yes, I had become dark. I had lost a little bit of weight. I had lost my hair. I had lost my eyebrows. I had become very dark. I had lost my nails.
Wow.
But the grace of God was very sufficient.
Wow.
So by the end of April, I'm done with all the tests, or with all the treatment, and the doctor does some tests and tells me that now your disease is in remission, and we're not going to give you any more harsh treatment.
Yes.
We are going to manage you on a hormonal tablet that you'll be taking every day. And then we will be doing tests every 6 months. So the procedure of doing tests continues. And I remember the 5th year, this is 2016,
yes.
July. I remember the Lord affirming to me that this thing has gone and has clearly gone. And so I got healed and life came back to normal. I even got back to school, enrolled for a degree, nikasoma, nikamaliza. And I don't take it for a coincidence.
Yes.
That, remember I had told you that I got the diagnosis on the 14th of July,
yes.
2011. And on the 14th of July, 2016, I graduated
yes.
with my Bachelor's of Commerce. And the Lord graced me with the first class honors. And I remember as we did a celebration in my compound,
yes.
we were so excited. And we were telling ourselves, look what the Lord has done. 5 years down the line, it is not a coincidence
yes.
that this is happening on the same day, the same exact day.
Yes.
So we celebrated and life for me continued. And I somehow forgot.
So how can you describe that you are healed back then?
I was healed completely because every time I went remember I was going for test every 6 months. Every time I went, they were okay. At some point, the doctor told me, I was seeing an Indian doctor all this time. Yes. There was a time he told me, I'm running these tests on you just to follow the procedures of the hospital.
Yes.
But if I was asked, I would tell you to go home because you look so okay, you have been healed, and everything is okay on your side.
Wow.
So life continues, and I was remembering I have cancer when I see the scar of the operation that had been done. Everything else, isipokuwa tuonane nikwambie story yangu,
yes.
you would never have, thought or imagined.
Yes.
Because I was a healthy girl, happy. I'm one person who smiles almost all the time. Even when I'm having issues, I will
yes.
always smile. So it was unless you know my story, you wouldn't know that I have an issue.
Yes.
So God healed me. And I continued with life completely.
Maybe I can ask you, what you can say that really helped you to get healed? What were you doing when you're going through these chemos?
I would say it is faith in God. Remember, I told you when I began this process, and when I got a shift in my mind,
Yes.
and I told God, I have served you, and I have always told people about you,
Yes.
and what you can do, and this is your time for you to show yourself
Yes.
strong on my behalf. So, yes, I had my lowest moment,
Yes.
and I had times when I felt like, I'm really getting overwhelmed, and this thing is, really getting a toll on me.
Yes.
But every other time I would still look to God. I would still talk to God.
Yes.
I'm a worship leader in church. So I kept on ministering to myself with songs of encouragement and proclaiming, the word of the Lord. And encouraging myself in the Lord and telling myself that this is possible. And as a matter of fact, I would call myself a little bit daring. I know myself to be a little bit daring.
Yes.
I'm that one person who have the urge to keep on trying trying and believing that someday it will get the place that I probably would want to get to. And so I kept on pushing, I kept on hoping, and I kept on telling God, God, I can be different. I can be a vessel that you can use to tell the world that things can change. And I kept on telling God, your word says, is there anything that is too hard for you? And I kept on studying on the promises of God as the word of God tells us. And that for me became a pillar for me.
Yes.
So life continues, and again on 2017 December,
yes,
I began feeling some numbness in my left hand.
Yes.
The operation had been done on the left hand. No pain, no nothing, but there was a lot of numbness in my left hand.
Yes.
And in my treatment earlier, I had been told that during the operation, they had removed so many of my lymph nodes on the armpits. And so I should expect that at some point, I will have issues with my left hand.
Yes.
So I should not overwork it. I should not carry hard stuff with it.
Yes.
And I should take a lot of care with my left hand. So when the numbness came, I'm alive to the fact that this is a side effect of the operation. So it continues, and again in March, I realize this numbness is not going away. So why don't I go and see the doctor and have myself checked? So March, remember the first time I went in March. So this is March 2018. I went to the doctor again, explained my case. And the doctor tells me, with cancer patient, we don't take chances because we always say it can recur. Once you are diagnosed with cancer, there is a possibility it can come again. So the doctor sends me to do an ultrasound. And the radiologist checks my neck and around the whole of this area and doesn't get anything. So the doctor tells me there is a possibility that you have a fatty tissue or you have a muscle strain because the base of your arm is weak. So probably you would have done something that strained your hand. That is why you're experiencing that numbness. So you go home and take care of your arm again. I go home, I continue with life. July comes and I'm due for my annual test. So I went to see the doctor. This day I didn't find my doctor. He was in a board meeting. But I found a doctor he was training. So this doctor looks at my file and tells me, you are in for the annual tests? I told him yes. So he checked my file and checked what I do every year. And he wrote the tests for me. And then I asked him, I have been having an issue with numbness in my left arm. Could we add another test so that we can check whether this place is still okay? And he says, for that one, you have to wait for the doctor. And I said, fine, let me wait for him. So I waited for the doctor, akatoka board meeting, akakuja, akaniambia, because last time we did an ultrasound, this time let's do an FNA. So I was sent for the other tests and then the FNA. So in a day's time, all the other tests were out.
Yes.
Clean bill of health, like before.
Wow.
Everything was okay.
Okay.
But the FNA results were supposed to be corrected 3 days later.
Yes.
So I went on a Friday morning. I remember very well. And I was supposed to go pick the results again, then rush to work.
Yes.
Because the following day on a Saturday, we were having a farewell of my former boss. So it was quite a busy weekend for me.
Yes.
So I went to the doctor, to the hospital, picked the results, and tried to read. And in my layman's language, I didn't see anything wrong with the results. So I went to the doctor, gave him the results. He read the results, looked at me, read them again. I was with my husband this time.
Yes.
Looked at my husband, read them again.
Yes.
Opened the computer, opened my portal, read them again, looked at me again, and then he asked me, Catherine, have you read these results? Nikamwambia, daktari, nimesoma lakini sijaelewa. And then he just took a few minutes, that silent, and told me, Catherine, I'm sorry, your disease has come back again.
Again.
And I was like, what did you just say? He told me, I'm sorry, your disease has come back again. So we are silent, all of us. I'm emotional.
Yes.
I smile, but I also cry very easily. And I cry a lot and I smile a lot. I have extremes in both sides. So I cried a lot, and then he tells me, now what we need to do is to begin this treatment immediately. We do tests to check the other organs, the lungs, the liver, and all the like, so that we know where are we beginning. Now that it has come back, where has it come back? To what extent has it come back? So we ran tests the whole of that day, and we confirm that it has come back in the neck area through the lymph nodes. So it had not really quite spread. So then he tells me, go fill in the NHIF forms and come. We have to treat this as an emergency, but it is something that can be done. Now, this is, I think, 28th of July, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Before I'm told this, I had booked myself for a prayer conference that was happening in Mombasa the first week of August. A prayer and fasting conference that runs for a whole week. So we go home and we ask each other with the family members.
Yes.
So do you go for the prayer conference or do you begin the treatment immediately? And I decide, why don't I just go and tell God about my condition before the doctor can do anything? The doctor has said this is very urgent.
Yes.
And we must begin the treatment immediately. But instead of going to the hospital, mimi niliingia SGR. Nikaenda maombi for a whole week before the doctor could do anything on me. In fact, I remember even when I was in the conference, jioni after, because I was switching my phone when I'm in the sessions. Jioni on a Wednesday, I saw the doctor had tried calling me. Kwa sababu alishindwa, huyu alienda wapi?
Yes, because your case was so urgent.
It was very urgent.
Yes.
But then I decided, let me just first go and talk to God. Because anyway, even what the doctors will do, God can do even much more than what they will do. So we went with a team. We were praying and holding hands every other day.
Yes.
And also the management of the conference that had organized, made a session of special prayers for us. And we were prayed for. And I had a lot of faith. And even as I went, I had a lot of faith that in the course of the conference, I will just feel something happen and I will touch my neck and the swelling will not be there anymore. Yes. And even as we kept praying, I kept on praying and pressing my hand on my neck and telling God, this thing is going away. I'm not going back to Nairobi with it.
Yes.
And I remember the day we were coming back home, the team that I was with,
Yes.
I came back, nilikuja kama siwaongeleshi, because I came from Mombasa very disappointed. How can I go for a prayer conference of a whole week and God doesn't heal me? Like, seriously? How?
Yes.
And I came back a disappointed person, very disappointed. But the Lord reminded me of 2 Corinthians chapter 4,
Yes.
verse 9. It
Yes.
says that, we may be struck down, but we are not destroyed.
Amen.
We may be persecuted,
Yes.
but we are not abandoned.
Yes.
And the Lord reminded me of Paul. This time that he was having a thorn on his flesh.
Yes.
All he wanted was for the thorn to be removed. But the Lord, had different plans.
Yes.
And he wanted him to know that his grace can be sufficient for you even in times of troubles. And even and I realized that there are some things you will never learn until you get through.
Yes.
You get to go through some situations. Like, you will never know the power of Jehovah Rapha until you find yourself in an illness
Yes.
that is so huge that you are battling between living and dying. And the moment you get out of it, you can be able to authoritatively stand before any person and any crowd and tell them Jehovah Rapha is real.
Yes.
And he's able to heal. He's able to do this and that.
Yes.
And sometimes there has to be somebody who must go through that. There has to be somebody.
For the glory of the Lord.
For
to
the
be
glory
revealed.
of God to be seen, there has to be somebody that will go through that.
Yes.
So that anytime anytime and even now, anytime I'm going to people and telling them about God healing and God doing this,
Yes.
they are identifying with this God, because it is not hearsay. They have seen me down and they have seen me up, and they can say, kweli kuna Mungu. So we come from Mombasa, and I'm not healed. I'm disappointed. The swelling is still there.
Yes.
So I have no option. I go to the hospital. The process begins again. And God really kept on encouraging me a lot. I remember that day I went to the hospital. I was supposed to do my session of radio at 2. It was the first day.
Yes.
So they had told me to be in the hospital at 2, and I went at 2. But that particular day, one of their machines broke down. So I found a very long queue. And I want you to see how God works.
Yes.
There was a very long queue. So we waited in the queue for quite some time. And the reception was full. So at 4 p.m., one of the lady who had brought her sister talked to the receptionist, akamwambia, ongeza volume ya TV tusikize news. Vile tumeboeka.
Yes.
And reception TVs in many receptionists mnaonanga picha lakini hazina sauti.
Yes.
So this girl accepted. Akaweka tukaona news. It was either KTN or NTV.
Yes.
After the news, they were running a gospel session, praying gospel music.
Yes.
So remember, I'm so frustrated. Nimetoka maombi, sijapona, nimerudi kwa madawa.
Yes.
And I had gone with, so much faith that I'm coming back healed.
Yes.
And guess what the Lord says to me?
Yes.
Immediately after the news, volume haikuzimwa. So they begin the gospel show of praying the gospel music.
Yes.
And guess what song plays? Rebecca Dawn songs. Even here. Your name is healer. Even here, you are still God. I had not heard of that song.
Yes.
I had never heard of it. I didn't know about it. But it began praying, and it was this lyrics video. So I sang along, and it was saying that, I have a plan for you. Even though you don't seem to understand.
Yes.
I have a plan for you.
Wow.
And even here. And the part of even, because I'm coming from a point of being healed,
yes,
and I'm sick again. So I'm coming from a point of something had happened. So the Lord is telling me, even here.
Wow.
It doesn't matter where you have come from. It doesn't matter how frustrated you're feeling. I have done it before, and even now.
Wow. Let's take a very short break. As we listen to that song, even here, as it sinks in, I'm so overwhelmed by your story. I'm telling you, God is really moving in our midst, that even He still heals up to today. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Let's take a very short break. We'll be back in a moment.
You have a plan for me.
The Big Testimony with Israel Kagiri.
Always understand. Beyond what I can see, I know that I am held within your hands. So I will trust in you, and I will lift a song of praise for you. Will never ever change, no matter what I'm going through. Even here your name is healer. Even here you are still good. Even here I will exalt you and lift up praises as I should. For even here your power is greater. I will choose to glorify the power of your wisdom. Though I live or though I die, your ways are perfect. Your name is healer, and you are good. You hold my destiny, so I can look with eyes of faith to what will come. Not moved by what I see, and without ever growing weary I will run. And I will testify of your wisdom that is greater and your power that is stronger. For you conquered death with life. Even here your name is healer. Even here you are still good. Even here I will exalt you and lift up praises as I should. For even here your power is greater. I will choose to glorify the power of your wisdom. Though I live or though I die, your ways are perfect. Your name is healer, and you are good. Oh, your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. No matter what the days may hold, your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. No matter what, you're in control. Your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. No matter what the days may hold, your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. Your plan for me is good. No matter what, you're in control. Even here your name is healer. Even here you are still good. Even here I will exalt you and lift up praises as I should. For even here your power is greater. I will choose to glorify the power of your wisdom. Though I live or though I die, your ways are perfect. Your name is healer, and you are good. Your ways are perfect. Your name is healer, and you are good.
Rebecca Dawn featuring Alan Screw coming with the song Even Here. I'm telling you, the song that was still ministering to my guest Catherine when she was going through deep stuff, you know. And that's why we normally play some good worship music, that this should speak to your life, even if you're going through tough time, that just to remind you that God is in control, that He still has good plans for you, that even that sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God to be revealed through you. At exactly 10 minutes to the top of the hour, listening to the big testimony with me, Israel Kagiri, right here on 90.7 Truth FM, where truth is worth finding. 21907 is my text line, 21907, or as well you can talk to me on WhatsApp 0727907907, on Twitter Truth FM Kenya, at Israel_Kagiri. The hashtag is the big testimony, or as well you can talk to us on Facebook 90.7 Truth FM official page, and I can see quite a number of your feedback.
Even here you are still good. Even here I will exalt you and lift up praises as I should.
And this is Joski Shams on our Facebook page saying, I love her faith in God. This is Irene Gerard. I'm tuned in. Magige Daina. Amen. And Wangare Kimane saying, praise God from Limuru. One day my lecturer, who is a prominent medical researcher, once told us that God had revealed to her that cancer is a spirit. I didn't understand then, but I'm beginning to get it now. Spirit cannot be killed by chemos or radiation. Indeed, it's only Jesus Christ. Yes, Tyra Sagishu, he am blessed by the testimony. To God be the glory. He is the Lord that healeth thee. Tuned in all the way from 45 Githurai. Henry Navigator, restored man, glory to Jehovah. What a strong woman. For sure no one could say unless you share your story. Yes, Frank Mbidi tuned in all the way from Tala, and they're saying God is really able. Sakata Nyams and Gi tuned in from and Kairetu. I think she's laughing at that part you mentioned, Kairetu. Veronica Njuguna tuned in from Githaiga, Githiga Kiambu. Yes.
My home area.
Huh?
That's my home area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think she's your neighbor, maybe, or something. I call her the Raka, praise God, Kagiri Tudin from Kitusuru, ready to hear the goodness of the Lord. And also, I can see you, Anne Degwa, a great testimony there. We serve a faithful God. Princess Cutie Mishka, I'm listening, and I'm Mary Wanjiru from Eastleigh South. Kiatu ya Vasco da Gama tuned from Kikuyu show iko juu. Asante sana Wangui Miriam, and also asante sana Millicent Kaseba. Keep your feedback coming through on our Facebook page. You can still talk to me on my Facebook page, Israel Kagiri, and I'll be able to sample your feedback. But right now, we just want to continue as we conclude the story of one Catherine Njeri Kihara, right here on 90.7 Truth FM, where truth is worth finding. I'm telling you, God is really moving in our midst. Asante sana. Nimekuwa na pale Morning Be the Macau all the way from Umoja. God bless you, and keep your feedback coming through. Dominic nimekuona, and Moshiri. I'll be able to sample your feedback as we progress with the show tonight. In case also you have any prayer items you'd like us to pray with you, maybe you're trusting God for healing. Yes, we can pray with you tonight. 0727907907 is my WhatsApp line, or as well you can text me on 21907. I'm going to pray with you tonight in Jesus' name. But right now, let's continue with our story here with my guest Catherine. And is Kate,
Yes.
coming back to you.
Yes.
You saying that this song was the one that was speaking to you that
Yes.
time. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lord, the song spoke to me,
Mm-hmm.
and the Lord told me through that song that He has good plans, even though I don't seem to understand.
Yes.
And so I told Him, God,
Mm-hmm.
you understand.
Yes.
Even where I don't understand, I just leave it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I continue with radio.
Mm-hmm.
I finish,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of the disease
Mm-hmm.
going away
Yes.
in October,
Mm-hmm.
I realized some other 2 nodules that had developed
Yes.
in a different location.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sent for a CT scan, which shows yet another one that I had not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor tells me that, Catherine, this thing is growing fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of getting healed, it is growing fast.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor tells me that now we have to put you on chemo again. So by now I have understood chemo, and I somehow am not afraid of it anymore. So
Yes.
I'm like, bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
So I begin chemo, and the second chemo brings me really down to a point that I got hospitalized. Because the doctor from the ward go told me that we will give you very strong medication since this is a recurrence disease.
Yes.
So I get mouth sores all over. My skin peels. The skin from my hand began peeling.
Yes.
The skin from my legs began peeling. At some point, I could not even stand. And things really got bad. At some point in February, I was so sick that I also somehow began losing hope on myself. Because I could not make more than 10 steps. Kutembea. I couldn't make more than 10 steps. Because the disease had begun getting into the lungs. And so this began manifesting through a cough. A cough that was so serious. I remember people could come in my house for prayers.
Yes.
And I would begin coughing in the middle of prayers. Mpaka maombi kwanza inasimamishwa. Because it was so irritating. The cough persists. It turns to pneumonia. I began having breathing issues. And things were really bad. I did tests here and there. And my lungs had lots and lots of fluids. They had to be removed through a very scary experience, you know, of inserting a tube, you know, between your limbs. Unadungwa na ka tube, anasak iyo maji. And we realized that the treatment was not working. So at some point we changed the doctor. We began seeing another doctor. And this doctor again decided to put me back on chemo. But in my spirit, I began feeling, you know, like I am not supposed to do chemo anymore. And I began protesting. And I told everybody at home, I'm not doing chemo anymore. Yes. And they were telling me, why are you saying you will not go through chemo again? And at some point I protested and I said, ni mimi natibiwa, ni mimi mgojwa, and from now I'm not doing chemo anymore. So I stayed for about 3 weeks kama sijaenda chemo. And the Lord by his grace connected me to a particular lady in Karen who gave me connections to go to India for further treatment, which I went. But I do not attribute my healing to India at any particular time. Mine is clearly God. And I remember when we met for prayers the day before I went to India, my bishop and my pastor had come. Yes. And as they were praying for me and speaking, they told me, we have made a declaration that you're going to India not to be treated, but you are going to India because they are so advanced in their technology. You are going for them to confirm that you are healed. Yes. And that you don't need any torture of these chemos and all these kind of things again. And we agreed and we held hands and we agreed that is what is going to happen. Yes. So we went to India. I was booked in the hospital and I did a PET scan. That is one of the major tests that is used for the diagnosis of cancer. Yes, and which year was this? This is this year. This is May. I went to India this year May. So I did a PET scan, and when I took it to the to the doctor, when I got the results, it ilikuwa ya page 3. I had gone with my husband. And so when we were given, before we could take it to the doctor, tulienda tukakaa pahali kwa reception kwanza tukaisoma. So ilikuwa inasema karibu kila page the organs have been checked. The liver normal. The spleen is normal. Wow. The ovaries are normal. Kila kitu is normal. So the only thing that was reported was a very tiny node that was in the lungs. And it was so tiny that the oncologist who was seeing me told me, Catherine, this should not worry you because this kind of a node can be seen even in a normal person. Yes. So in my opinion, this is not disease. Yes. Because this is possible to happen in a normal person. And nikamuliza, so now that I have a history of cancer, what are we supposed to ignore it or what will happen? And then the doctor told me it is so tiny that we cannot even biopsy it. So this shouldn't get you worried. Yes. So what will happen, I'm going to give you medication. And in my opinion, the chemo you were given was not necessary. Wow. And I'm not giving you any more chemo.
So this is in India now?
This is in India. So I'm giving you medication. You go home, take it. After 6 months, come, we confirm that you are okay.
Yes.
And then you discontinue with the medication. Just like that.
Wow.
I remember there was one of the lady who I had met in India. And when we were sharing experiences,
yes,
she told me, I have loved the way your doctor has handled you. Can you take me to your doctor? I explain to him my case and see what he will say. Because there are very many doctors in the hospital that I was in. There are very many oncologists. So it depends with who referred you. So I took her to the doctor. Yes. We are suffering from the same disease, cancer.
Yes.
And so by the fact that I had developed issues in my lungs,
yes,
they said that now they cannot call it stage 3 again. They are calling it stage 4. And stage 4 is the final stage.
Yes.
So this other lady is also suffering from cancer stage 4.
Yes.
So I took her to the doctor. Ni mimi sasa napeleka mgonjwa mwenzangu kwa daktari wangu in India. So we went. And so first daktari akadeal na mimi na akaniambia, wewe utaenda ukunywe dawa, then I want to see you after 4 months. Nikamwambia, please see me after 6 months so that I can take the medication for 6 months and then come back.
Yes.
Akaniambia, that is okay with me, Catherine. The medicine I have given you is okay. So nikamwambia, daktari, nimeleta huyu rafiki yangu, anataka uangalie kesi yake, umsaidie. We are suffering from the same disease.
Yes.
But I want you to see how God works. The doctor tells this other lady, you are suffering from a terminal illness and your disease is not curable. The only thing that we can do is try to manage your disease.
So you are the same disease?
We are having the same disease.
The
breast cancer, stage 4.
Stage 4?
Yes.
And this is the worst stage?
This is the worst stage.
Yes.
It is the highest. I am at the peak of it.
And now this is your friend?
This is my friend. This is the same doctor. The doctor is telling me, Yako, it can even, the node you're having, it can be found by any machine on a normal person who is not even suffering from cancer.
Yes.
But this other lady, Madam, you are suffering from a terminal illness. It is not curable. The only thing we can do is try and manage it.
Oh my gosh.
And in my spirit, I'm telling God, you have been with me in this.
Yes.
You have been with me in this. I glorify you. And any other doubt that was within me,
yes,
I cancel it. And from now onwards, I will begin declaring that I am healed.
Wow.
It doesn't matter whether there is that small node that is supposed to be handled by this medicine I'm carrying, but from now onwards, the message I am passing to anybody who cares to listen is that I am healed.
Wow. You are healed completely.
Yes, and there is no debate about that.
Wow.
So I come back to Kenya,
yes,
and I told myself I have to begin working, behaving like somebody who is healed.
Yes.
And I remember I came back from India on Thursday, right?
Yes.
I came back on a Thursday, the 24th of May. I had not worked from November 2018. I had been given leave. Sikuwa nimefanya kazi. And so when I came back, I told myself, sasa lazima nianze kubehave kama mtu amepona.
Yes.
And I stayed at home for 1 week. On 3rd of June, I was in the office. And I told everybody, I am back, full force. Nimerudi kazi. Na kutoka hiyo siku sija hata kazi siku hata moja.
Were they shocked?
Yeah, because they were like, una expect mtu alikuwa India, anafaa kae mwezi moja ama miwili ya recover.
Yes.
And here I am after barely 1.5 weeks. And with all my energy and all my smiling and all my up and down, and I'm like, kazi yote yenye ilikuwa imebaki leteni naifanya tu sahi.
Wow.
And that has been it.
So you are healed completely?
Yes.
Stage 4 cancer? Stage
4 cancer. No, zile cough zote ziliisha. I have no issues with my breathing. One doctor looked at my CT scan, my PET scan in India, because I saw very many doctors. And one of them looked at my scan and told me, you must be a very strong girl. Nikamuliza kwa nini? hii image inaonyeshana ni kama one of your lungs imecollapse and you are still walking and you look okay.
Yes.
Tulisimama tukachukua document zetu tukaenda bio na my husband na hatukurudi kwa hiyo ofisi tena, and we went counseling and we went telling each other we cancel those words that huyo daktari amesema, na hata tukitumwa kwake tena hatuendi kumuona.
Yes.
Because whatever anasema, that is missions from the devil, and we believe you are healed. Whether the lungs have collapsed or they have not collapsed, the one who created them is able to bring them back to functioning again. And that has been our testimony. That has been our story.
Wow.
And we are short of time. You will be shocked to know that the whole of that process,
Yes.
we began treatment. That was July last year.
Yes.
And it ended on the 24th of May when we jetted back in the country from India.
Yes.
We've spent more than 1 million. We did not do a harambe. God in his own way was
Yes.
sending people. Wanajiorganize,
Yes.
wanakuja wenyewe.
Wow.
Hawa wanajiorganize, familia inaitana, kama hawatuambii wanakuja. Colleagues wanajipanga, wanakuja. Church inajipanga, inakuja. Individuals wanajipanga, mtu anakuja na envelope anakuambia mimi sijakuja, nimejua sijakuja kununua matunda.
Yes.
In this condition I cannot bring 1,000. Mtu analeta envelope, unaifungua after ameenda, and you're like, God, the things you can do.
Yes.
Because that is another challenge that we are facing in this country.
Yes.
In terms of finances and treatment.
Yes.
And because God, God had taken this case of mine, and he really wanted me to get well and talk to the whole world and testify.
Yes.
And there is no way he would have allowed me to go down in one way. Faith iko juu lakini pesa hakuna.
Yes.
So he brought the faith and he brought the money. Without even our knowledge.
Yes.
Without any effort. Hata India we got discounts that were unbelievable kwa hospitali. We got unbelievable. Daktari mwenyewe anakuambia, Catherine, nataka kukupea discount. Namwambia daktari, nitashukuru. Anakupigia simu weekend, anakuuliza ile discount nilikupatia imetosha ama nikuongeze? Namwambia daktari, tuongeze tafadhali.
Oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed that even at that wilderness, God provided.
He did.
That because
He
I
did.
know the cost.
He did.
I know the cost.
We did not at even, and I'm saying this for the glory of God.
Yes.
They are my witnesses.
Yes.
And my family is my witnesses.
Yes.
And those people who are very close to me. We did not even one single day, sit and think, where are we getting money for a session? Do you know one of the amazing things that happened, and I'm saying this on Rive Radio.
Yes, yes.
I'm proud of my mom. She has brought us alone. I'm a child of a single mother.
Yes.
Do you know when my biological father heard about it, he is alive.
Yes.
And I'm told we parted ways when I was 4 months. I'm the last born. I had said that. I've never met him. I've never got an interaction with him.
Yes.
But when he heard that I am unwell, he sent money for 1 chemotherapy session.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Things God can do.
Things God can do.
Things God can do when you believe in him, and when you trust in him, and when he has a destiny that he is preparing for you. So all this is for the glory of God. And I'm saying that the reason that God healed me is not so that I can be celebrating I got healed.
Yes.
It is so that I can talk to the nations. That broken heart.
Yes.
That person who is wondering what will happen tomorrow, or even right now. Maybe somebody, you're just there lying in bed and you're not even sure what will happen. Recently, in July, it was a bad month in our country.
Yes.
I would say so. We've lost giants in this country because of cancer.
Yes.
And a lot of awareness was done in our local media and everywhere.
Yes.
And every time I would see specialists coming on platforms and, talking about early diagnosis, what is supposed to be done, lifestyle, and all sort of things.
Yes.
They are good. But I'm coming with a different message.
Yes.
that God is above all those things. And there is nothing he cannot do.
Yes.
There's no disease he cannot heal. None.
Wow.
Kama cancer stage 4 imeanguka, it has bowed in his presence. There is nothing that cannot happen when God is involved. So
What a
dare
mighty
to
God we
involve
serve.
God, and nothing is huge in his presence.
Indeed.
Yes.
Wow. And the word of God is just confirming very clear that what he said in the book of Isaiah, that by his stripes
Yes.
we were made whole. And for it to manifest, something that just had to happen.
Yes.
Because sometimes we speak the word and we don't know until it happens to us.
Sure.
And it really happened to you.
Yes.
Because stage 4 cancer, and God healed you completely. Indeed, he sent his word.
Yes.
And his word healed your
Yes.
disease. And I don't know, I know maybe there are a lot of people are listening to us right now. Maybe you're listening to me right now, and maybe you're in this condition, or maybe something just, maybe worse, or maybe you're sick and you're trusting God for healing. And I believe the same God who came through for Kate can come through for you tonight even.
Sure.
And we're going to pray in the next few minutes. Kate's going to pray with us in the next few minutes. And also, if you're out there listening to us, you're trusting God for any need and would like God to come through for you. Maybe it's financial breakthrough, because as for Kate, she was catered everything.
Sure.
Not even money from your cup. I'm telling you, what a mighty God we serve. We'll be taking a very short. We're going to come back. We'll be winding up as we get into that moment of prayer, as we wind up the big testimony tonight. I'm telling you, God is moving in our midst. Yes, text me on 21907, 21907, or as well you can WhatsApp me on 0727 907 907. That is 0727 907 907. You come back, we'll be praying together as we wind up the big testimony tonight. You can as well find us on our Facebook page, 90.7 Truth FM official page, or our Twitter handle at Truth FM Kenya. And I'll be able to sample your feedback when we come back. Do not touch that dial. This is the big testimony.
I am the God that healeth thee. I am the Lord, your healer. I sent my word and healed your disease. I am the Lord, your healer. I am the God that healeth thee. I am the Lord, your healer. I sent my word and healed your disease. I am the Lord, your healer.
God's name is more powerful than any disease you can name tonight. You might have received a horrible report from the doctors and told you your disease is incurable. But you know what? There's hope tonight. There is hope because God's promised that He would heal us. I want you to put His word on your lips tonight. Sing His word back to Him. And see if His name isn't more powerful than cancer, than heart disease, or any disease that you can name tonight. Oh yes, He's your healer. Let's sing it to Him. You are the God that healeth me.
You are the God that healeth me. You are the Lord, my healer. You sent your word and you healed my disease. You are the Lord, my healer. You are the God. You are
Facebook on 90.7 Truth FM in brackets official fan page.
He's a faithful